In the African tone, there is this adage that say, when love dances with the dead, the living must beware the final embrace. The river may forget the footsteps of men, but spirits never forget a lover's oath. To swear love to the unseen is to weave a chain no mortal hands can break. Always think twice in action. The villagers of Ikena spoke of the forest with both reverence and fear. Deep within its heart lay the cursed lake of Obianuju, a place whispered about in fireside tales but avoided at all costs. The elders warned that whoever ventured too close would never return, or if they did, they would not be the same. Yet, love makes fools of even the wisest men. A love that defied death. Obiora was a hunter, known for his sharp arrows and an even sharper mind. He feared nothing, not the wild beasts of the forest, nor the spirits that the elders spoke of. One fateful evening, as he tracked a wounded antelope, he found himself at the edge of the forbidden lake. The waters shimmered under the moonlight, an eerie silver glow stretching across its surface. And then he saw her. A woman, dressed in flowing white, her skin glowing like morning dew, her eyes deep and endless as the night sky. She stood by the water, her gaze fixed on him, her lips curved into a knowing smile. "Who are you?" Obiora asked, though his voice barely carried over the wind. "I have waited for you," she whispered, her voice like a melody. Her name was Nkem, and she was unlike any woman he had ever met. Her laughter was soft as rain, her touch sent warmth through his veins. She spoke of things no mortal should know, his past, his dreams, his deepest fears. Yet, he did not run. Instead, he returned every night, drawn to her like a moth to flame. He was in love. And so was she. Or so he thought. The curse that binds. One night, as he sat by the lake, tracing circles in the sand, Nkem took his hands in hers. "Swear to me," she whispered. "Swear that you will never leave me, no matter what you hear, no matter what you are told." Obiora, lost in her gaze, pressed a hand to his heart. "I swear." The wind howled through the trees, the water rippled unnaturally, and for the first time, he noticed that Nkem cast no shadow beneath the moon. The next morning, he returned to the village, his heart still drunk with love. But as he entered, the air grew heavy. The people stared at him in horror, whispers slithering between them. The village priest, an old man with clouded eyes, stepped forward. "Where have you been, Obiora?" When he told them, the priest's face turned grim. "The woman you love is dead." Obiora laughed. "That is impossible. I was with her last night." The priest pointed to the lake. 100 years ago, Nkem was drowned in those cursed waters. Her spirit has been bound to the lake ever since. Many men before you have fallen for her, and none have survived. The world spun around him. A spirit. His love, a ghost. But even as fear took root in his heart, he knew the truth. He could not let her go. A love that never dies. That night, he returned to the lake, but Nkem was different. Her eyes glowed an unnatural blue, her smile sharper, her voice layered with something ancient. "You swore," she reminded him, stepping closer. "You swore never to leave me." "What have you done to me?" he whispered, his body growing weak. "You belong to me now," she said gently, brushing her fingers across his face. Obiora tried to step back, but his feet no longer obeyed him. His body had grown cold. His reflection no longer showed in the water. His soul had already started to fade. In the village, they say he disappeared that night. Some claim they still hear his voice in the wind, calling for help. Others say they see two figures by the cursed lake, a man and a woman, locked in a love that neither life nor death could break. But one thing is certain, no man ever returned from the lake again.